Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Invasions week 15, day 2. So today, we're going to be going a little bit further into invasions, basically doing all the battles that we currently have for free, and then going for the event for today, which is of course the faction event. This is the first time Warrens has been available since its release. So if you still wanted to get the weapon, if you didn't get the first time around, it's still available. It's not anything too over the top, but it still might be worth getting. Other than that, do be careful if you're keeping this faction at a lower level, that you don't accidentally over level it, because any leveling that you do beyond whatever number this is will actually increase it. So make sure, yeah, not to do that. Be very, very careful. But yeah, today and throughout the next weeks or so, I need to start accumulating more shards. We need to start saving all of our shards for... I keep spending them all immediately, but we really need to go and save them for next Friday. Not this week's Friday, but next week's Friday, February 1st, because there will be a new faction, and I do want to get them maxed, because that's going to be bringing in bleed mechanics, particularly that legend. I want to make sure I have 2 copies of it to mythic. So yeah, we're going to need some shards for that, so gotta keep working towards that and start saving them. So, gotta start now. Anyways, before we go into that, let's go and just finish out invasions, or at least invasions for today. As far as rewards, we did not have anything shiny, but we're coming up to all the orbs, so next few days we will. So let's grab all of that. And, oops, I keep doing that every single time. I keep clicking on these, and then I think the backspace goes back to the previous menu, but it just brings you all the way out of the page. I hate that so much. Anyways, let's go do our 6 battles, approximately 6. We'll still be using this team. I don't think I'm going to switch yet. We could put like Mountain Crusher there. We could put Hero just in first with Titan. I think for now, just for speed's sake, and the fact that my guild probably already has way more than enough. Let's see, do we have 30 people right now? We should. I don't think we lost any yet. Nope, we're still maintaining 30. Actually, it's been a while since we've not had 30. This is the longest time in a while we've actually maintained it, sadly. Alright, let's keep going. Normally because there's always like someone that switches out. Yeah, next faction is new. Yes, next week is new faction. That is correct. I have no clue how I got tongue-tied on that. Anyways, move that over. Grab our blue. Grab a instant 1 kill. Actually, that doesn't one-shot anymore, does it? Skulls still do. But this ability does not. Though it can be comboed, so we can do this. Wait, why is controller not... That's weird. Okay, now it's actually doing the correct hotkey. So now it's doing it for A all of a sudden instead of for Y, which is actually what it's supposed to be doing. So that means all hotkeys are working correctly now. That's nice. Okay, we'll go and... I think it's because I need to have that big picture mode on Steam activated or whatever that was. And if it's not activated, it just goes to the default controls. And default controls has all the weird bindings for this thing. The controller. I don't think it's enough to kill, but I'm not going to bother calculating it out. There we go. Okay. That works. I think the charm earlier ended up getting it low enough. So let's get ability one more time and then boom, dead. That's all we need. But yeah, hello everyone. Hope the week's been going good so far. Hello Mark. Hello Churros. Hello Lemmy. Hello Captain. Hello William. Hello DeCrill. Good evening Zeddicus. Yo, Overfiend. Hello Mehmet. Hello Chad. Hello Pony. Hello Steve. Hello, Mercy. Hope all is good. Yep, everything's been going well. Finally got your first mythic drop. Congratulations at level 1033. That's a little bit unfortunate. And Anu, is there any use for him? Blue Guild War Day. That's about it. He's also needed to get 10-star Sword's Edge, so I don't know if you're anywhere near doing that yet. But no, he's pretty useless for the most part. Blue Guild War and maybe Blue Tower of Doom are about the only 2 locations you would ever bother using him. But yeah, he is actually one of the current mythics that are required for 10+ stars. Specifically for Sword's Edge, of course. Eventually every kingdom will have that, but very few kingdoms currently have 10 stars. I think it's currently sitting at 5, 6? Somewhere around there. It's a really small number relative to the total amount. Of course, more will come in over time, though. We'll do barrier just in case to make sure it doesn't die. Get a hit onto first slot so we don't waste all of our skull damage. Or potential skull damage. Move that so we have an extra turn. So it just gives it right to us. Should have taken that purple first. Let's grab that. He'll skull us. All good. We'll throw another hit onto... This is the last one. Oh, but now he has full mana. But luckily we have a +2. And then we just kill it out before he can do anything. Hello, Brian. Hello, Humberto. Can you build any strong teams with him? For Guild Wars? Yes. If you were to build him for Guild Wars, it would be Corvash, Azura, something, and then Champion of Anu. I guess you could use the Champion of Anu a little bit further up. Let's see. So probably Corvash, Champion of Anu, Azura, and Hero using whatever weapon fits into there. Most likely using something like Titan. But you don't necessarily need to actually use it up front. I keep wanting to use it further towards the front. But I don't know, I feel like on Blue Guild War, I tend to use it almost in third. And just put the Hero in front of it and just use it as Titan for the tankiness that it has. But that general combo would probably work. And they gain a lot of benefit per turn off of the Champion of Anu. It does assume Champion of Anu is fully traded. Definitely don't ever bother using him if he's not. Because that's the whole point, is pretty much his final trait for the most part. Any team that ends up using him. He's used for silence and stuff as well, but that's just the side effect of his main ability, which is to gain 1 to all stats per turn. Where are all the skulls? None of that's actually a free skull. So much so, I think we just pass our turn. Actually, no, we'll take that green. What do we do? Guess we'll take the brown. These are such uneventful turns. Okay, we'll take that. Grab the skull, and then they all just die at once. Good. We'll pass our turn again. Actually, we'll do it that way, just so we get something to kill it with, in case we don't get a skull here, which we don't. And then we just poke him. You've saved 6k gems, probably why you've got no mythic drops yet. Well, it's good to save some amount of gems. They're good to use for various events. Especially if you're in a decent guild that's getting all of them done. Or saving them until you do get into a guild that does. Okay, what do we take here? Let's grab a... I don't want to do this on first. Oh, I kind of want to get her to full mana, but we'll do this on to, I guess, red-blue there. Just so we don't have to deal with that. Throw it on, bring it down. Get all the mana for our first slot there. Ideally a skull, but we're not going to go out of our way for it. We can one-shot that so he doesn't get buried. Oh, forgot to take blue. And he gets full mana out of it, actually. We don't have a Dispel, but we can kind of use Marrowlift for that purpose. But unfortunately, we just wasted that skull there. Nothing we could really do. I guess we'll just get our ability back up. Should be enough to kill it before it gets mana back again. We just do it with the skull, and then poke it, and that's that. And you have a question. If you're using a map farming team consisting of a hero, Tyree, Merid, and Lord Johnny, what would I swap out Johnny for? And that would mana generate more effectively. Well, if you're doing map farming, the best way to do map farming is there's 2 best teams, and they haven't changed. It's been the same thing for pretty much forever, ever since Tyree got her ability to actually farm maps. But the best map farming teams are one of 2 things. It depends on if you have 1 or 2 Tyrees. If you only have 1 Tyree, the team is super cheap. It is Dryad, Goblin Shaman, Dryad, Tyree with Frozen Banner, and similar again with Frozen Banner. If you have 2 Tyrees, would be Green Seer, Giant Spider, and Double Tyree. Those are the 2 best map farming teams in the game. They have been for like 2 years now. Like ever since Tyree got that ability on her, it's been the best 2 teams in the game for map farming. And there actually hasn't been anything since that's been quicker. Obviously, if you're running for PvP, you would do other stuff. But if your only goal is to gain maps, those are basically the only 2 teams you would ever use for map farming in the current state of the game. Or at least the quickest 2. And you would just do those in the challenge that has the Fortress Gate up front. The one in Broken Spire. There's 2 different ones. Whichever one you find easier is the one you should do. And you'll get anywhere from like 5 to 15 maps per battle. And the only reason the battle ends is because you accidentally win with all the skulls. Hello, Poppy! Welcome! There we go, only one more left unless we get a random Valraven. Unfortunately, it is still impossible in this game mode to actually know if we have a Valraven or not. So who knows? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We'll find out after the battle. Okay, let me do it on the tanky tower. Not just because he's tankier, but also because we wouldn't want to do it on something up front because they're just going to die off the skulls anyways. Oh, that's an extra turn. I'm just going to see that. Go for that, get a Dawnbringer, and he's dead off ability. Don't even need a skull. Okay, yes, we do need a skull. We'll take that to get rid of barrier. And then we kill it with that. Do you know any news if Kedar will be in the drop table soon? Kedar. Actually, let me look at the troop menu. That'd probably be an easier way of bringing it up. Kedar. Troops. If it ever is, that's a good time to try to get Farish Ra. Let me see. Control find Kedar. Oh, never mind. I just thought it was next week. That's character off. My bad. Kedar. March 18th is the next Kedar event, supposedly. That could change, but it's most likely March 18th. So still a while. We got almost 2 months until the next Kedar event. Kedar event's not really that good, though. What are you looking for? Just trying to get Farish Ra off of pure luck? That's about the only thing you could really get from a Kedar event. That and maybe Keeper of Souls, but... Oh, and Azurus, I guess. But, that's a long time to wait for Azurus. But, yeah, those are our only 3 good drops. Azurus, Keeper of Souls is kind of average, and the best soul farming method in the game. Well, basically all the good soul farmers. Azurus and Farish Ra are like the main 2 drops that you would end up getting. But, yeah, Kedar is nothing too special. We're actually getting Kedar's faction before we get Kedar's event. Kedar will be 10-starred by its faction prior to it being 10-starred by the event. Actually, the event's probably bringing it to something like 15 stars or something. It might actually even overtake Whitehelm, if I'm not mistaken. Forget the total number. It's either going to tie Whitehelm stars or be 1 star above it with how many troops it's going to have. But anyways, let's go do some faction-related stuff. Get on the grind with this. So this is the really annoying faction that has the front and back line. I think our best plan here is to run Key Team almost through the entire thing. Possibly literally through the entire thing. Because it's going to be a little bit quicker than the other team that we're using. Plus we end up gaining more gold. Plus there's a bunch of treasure rooms. Then we're going to get rid of this thing. We're actually going to put it with Frost Mage as well, just so we gain EXP, so even more of a benefit. So, yeah, let's go switch everything. Do it to here, go to Frost Mage. Where are you, Frost Mage? There we go, change. Slowly but surely, we're getting that to level 100. Hopefully in the next week or 2. Hopefully by the end of the month. What do I need here? We need, yeah, we can run the pure team, right? Yeah, it doesn't have any complications. We can run Egg Thief, Greed, Cedric, and we need Skeleton Key. And that should be everything then. So we put that up there, put that down there, put that right there. Change the banner to the minus purple that gives +2 red and a brown. Banner. I keep clicking on class every single time I want to do banner now. They just keep adding buttons. First it was the pets menu who added here. Then they ended up adding the class button here. And it keeps making the location of where you have to click for banners. Like, in the past it used to be like around here. And then it was changed to like over here. And now it's all the way over here. And I don't think they're going to add anything more here, though. Place is already so crowded. I'm actually surprised that this doesn't even lag anymore when you go into the troop menu. It used to. But there's just so much stuff here. Actually, pretty much all of this. Oh, not that. All of that. Gosh. Wait, why is there 5? I thought there only was 4 things that showed here earlier. I guess it shows banners now? I don't know. I could have sworn there was only 4. Apparently it doesn't show classes though. Anyways, what am I looking for? I'm looking for that. And that should be good. We have our +1 for Skeleton Key, and we have our +2 for Thief, and that's all we need. And now we can just run basically through his entire faction with this team. So let's get started on that. Yeah, this is the best faction in the game as far as loot is concerned, so yeah, good time to go farm. Do be mindful though, if you go beyond whatever your level of the faction currently is on your base faction, it will increase it, so you won't be able to farm it at that location anymore. If you have it stuck at 20 or stuck at 90, make sure to not go beyond that point, or else it'll permanently be on that point. But luckily, we shouldn't have that issue. I currently have it at 110, so even if I accidentally go over a little bit, it's not going to matter because we're already at 110. There's no way we would overshoot it that high. Okay, what path do we even take here? Depends what these treasure rooms are. We are currently doing faction though, so I need to make sure I don't keep doing what I used to do, or that I still do whenever I do the daily ones, and that is skipping over the treasure room, even if it's a good multiplier. In this game mode, we're actually going to have to always go for the treasure room if it's a decent multiplier, just because it helps our score. Doesn't make too huge a difference, but I'd rather have the slightly higher score than the slightly higher gold. Regardless, it doesn't make too much of a difference either way. But we're going to be playing in a multiplier order when we're doing the event, which is right now. But whenever we do it for the dailies, I don't necessarily do it in multiplier order. I try to do it in an order that maximizes the loot from the gold rooms, the treasure rooms. I need to make sure that doesn't escape. That would be a gigantic fail. You actually lose a lot of gems if you lose a single Valraven during these. I have once. Only once have we lost one. But we have had it happen. I think it cost us like 210 gems too, or something absurd. Oh, you're on Faction Renown leaderboard. Nice. Yeah, a lot of people, I believe, are camping this one pretty low. So leaderboard's actually ridiculously low, which is nice. But yeah, if you ever want an easy leaderboard, this is like super easy this time around. Or at least easier than normal. Because more so than just about any other faction, this one is deliberately kept lower. Oh, I didn't even bother to check if Steve says no! I was gonna say, I didn't even check if this was a 1.3. Fail. Huge fail. That should have been the first room we did. I should have checked it. Had a feeling it was too, but I didn't bother checking it. That's why you gotta check it. Oh well, at least we noticed it now. Better late than never. What do we need? Grab the yellow, kill Skolos, it's fine. It's like 0 damage. It's early in delves. Oh, you mean the overall faction? Oh, nice. How many 2,500s do you have? I'm still currently only sitting on 1 because I've been camping. Well, I haven't really been trying to go for any of them, but I've also been camping the oh, what are they called? The this current faction, just so we can gain shards. So I haven't really been trying for 2,500s. I think the next one I'll be going for is, oddly enough, this faction. I think I'm going to go for 2,500 first. Mainly because we will have an already upgraded faction, so we might as well start with this one. Next after that, I'll probably do All-Seeing Eye, because All-Seeing Eye is actually a lot of fun to play. It's going to be really annoying to try to get that win, but it has a really fun team. Out of every single pure faction currently in the game, it has pretty much the only one that actually runs one of each troop viably. Every other pure faction team runs multiple of whichever one is the strongest, but All-Seeing Eye is actually balanced enough that the pure faction team actually uses one of each, which is kind of nice. It's the only faction that does that, or at least it does. It's the only faction that does that effectively, I should say. Technically, obviously, every faction could, just not as good as other options. Is Soulforge the only way to acquire Xenos? Yes. The only way to ever acquire Xenos as well as Zugoth is via Soulforge. That is correct. Both of which are completely useless troops. The only thing Xenos is ever used for is to get the achievement, and the only thing a I just said his name and I already forgot the other one. And the only thing that Zugaf is used for is eventually to get Karkaroff 1 higher star level. Eventually. But that's it. Both of them are essentially useless. Yet they're 2 of the hardest things in the entire game to get. Zugaf being the absolute hardest. Xenos, I think, is about 3rd or 4th, depends how you really look at it. It's definitely behind Dawnbringer, and obviously behind Zugaf. So it's at least 3rd, if not lower. What does week 15, day 2 actually mean? Oh, this is the 15th invasion, day 2 of the invasion. I have every single one just based on how many have occurred. It's why Guild Wars is so much higher than all the other ones, because Guild Wars has been around for the longest amount of time for all these other events that ended up coming in last year. It's also why Tower of Doom number is so low. Like, next one's going to be the 4th Tower of Doom week, next week. Oh, wow, actually, we have a lot of interesting things happening next week. I hate when they do that. They'll have a week like this week where we have almost nothing. Then they'll have a week like next week where we have something new almost every day, other than Wednesday. We don't have a pet. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit annoying that they don't spread it out a little bit better. But I think that might be because they're planning on a new event in the near future that might take over the week off that we normally have, like this weekend where we don't have any event. Pretty sure they're planning some kind of event for it in the future. It'll probably be out sometime this year. They did say that they're probably adding 1 more game mode, and that's probably what's going to. What is the team you recommend for Invasion this week? Invasion team, I would recommend using Hero with Mountain Crusher or Mang as Titan, either or in first slot, followed by the Invasion Troop, followed by Tapon, followed by Marilith. Alternatively, you can also put Dawnbringer there, which is what I'm currently running with. But if you don't have Dawnbringer, Mountain Crusher or Mang is your best bet. You can also run Earth's Fury. Also, you don't have to run your hero in first, but it is safer to run your hero in first. Alternatively, you could just use the Invasion Troop and just try killing them with skulls. Either or works. So yeah, essentially the whole premise of this week's invasion is you basically just go into a single hit off of the Invasion Troop over and over again by using Tapon to mana feed it. And that's basically it. The Marilith's there for that little bit extra mana, and you basically just keep repeating that cycle to kill everything out. And the hero's just there to tank or for additional damage if it's needed. Anyways, on to the next one. 1.3. Make sure to check that room and actually see if it's a 1.3, because that completely changes our pathing if it is. Let's see. Wait, what was this? Oh, we got a Cedric. Got a Cedric in play. Okay, I'll take the long ways around. Oh, I don't know. How do I want that? Do we sacrifice a little bit of multiplier in order to get that a bit quicker? I feel so tempted to do so. So ridiculously tempted. Do I do it? Yeah, we're doing it. I'm taking the top half. We're going for the gold and sacrificing multiplier. Or, yeah, I guess we're sacrificing some multiplier. We're only going to lose like 100 points, 200 points. So unless we're like a few hundred short at the end, then that's really unfortunate. But if we're like 1,000 short or a few thousand short, it wasn't because of this. Find out at the end. That'll be a gigantic fail though if we find out at the end that we needed those points. We probably won't. I don't even know why I even try sometimes to try to get like the perfect amount of scoring, just because it's so rare that you can actually save that 30 gems. I think we've only gotten it 3 or 4 times or so, because it comes down to pure luck with the rooms on. Even if you do the absolute most optimal order every time, it still comes down to pure luck on if you get it or not. It's only 30 gems. It's not really that big a deal. Oh, whoops. I just forgot. We have greed in first slot, don't we? Whoops. Whenever we have greed in first slot, we don't want to cast them too soon. Especially when there's not a lot of reds on the board, otherwise you're just blocking the whole time. That's not nice. Waiting for New Kingdom, you have 67k gold keys. Yeah, I'm sitting on an absurd amount as well. Oh no, it's gonna lag when I go back, but I want to see how many gold keys we have. I believe I'm actually around the exact same amount, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, how many are we currently sitting at? Oh no, I'm not even close to that. Never mind. Wow, we haven't even broke 50k yet. My total is around that number, but yeah, we're only sitting at like 47.5. But yeah, we'll have like 50, 60, 70k gold keys by the time it actually rolls around. I have no clue when they're going to be finally doing that, but there is a chance we're getting a new kingdom this year. If we do, it's only going to be one new kingdom. But I don't know, they did say that they would consider it eventually. And it's been a while since we've had a kingdom. The last kingdom came in, I believe, in August. It's the longest this game has ever gone without getting a new kingdom. Mainly because factions are essentially the replacement for kingdoms. But that doesn't mean they're never going to add more kingdoms ever. It's going to feel weird when they do it again, because it's going to be such a different thing since they haven't done it for such a long time. Like, there's probably new players to this game that have never actually seen a new kingdom, you know, when it actually was released. Anyone who started playing in the last several months. What is some good Possessed King combinations? What are you running him for? Normally you run him into various Skull Spam teams. He's also pretty funny with Wrath and First Lot. If you're using like Wrath, Apothecary, another Skull Spammer, and Possessed King is probably one of the funner combinations for him. But trying to think of what the other combination thing was. You basically just use him into anything that extra turn spams though. What specific way you want to go about that really depends on what damage source you want to use, because he is not a damage source. Do not use him as such. He's pretty much just a mana generator. He can be used for his transform, but you should never depend on him for damage. Okay, what do we grab here? We'll take that over for now. Take a red. We're trying to get this to max. So Skull. Oh! That's a little annoying. I forgot about that too. If you don't kill this battle quick enough, they move your entire team. Which is annoying. But luckily it didn't really move anything into too weird of a position. Plus their stats are still low enough that even if they did, it actually wouldn't make too big a difference. Is Possessed King good with any teams? For the most part, I would say no. There are some people that do use him, but I don't know. I personally never really cared for him much. I think one of the most common things he actually gets used in is with all those Doom weapons. Basically, there's any kind of Skull Spam team that tends to spam it a lot, because you gain a lot of benefit from Doom Skulls into his ability, because basically he explodes 2 gems every single time he does an extra turn. So if you're extra turning a skull, you explode almost the entire board off a skull spam pretty consistently. So that's one of the main combinations he gets used with. Things like Glaceon, things like all the Doom weapons, things like Blood Hammer, stuff like that. Any combination that basically builds into a nearly pure Doom Skull or Skull Spam team tends to be what he gets used with. And that's about it, for the most part. And alternatively, you can use him like a Queen Aurora on extra turn spam teams. He's only particularly effective if you're getting a lot of extra turns, though, or with Doom Skulls. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have an absurd amount of damage now. Like, way more than we really need. Way more than we really need. 600 gold. Good elemental giants other than Ural Fairmantle? Mainly Hyndla. You could literally just spam a bunch of Hyndlas. Like 3 Hyndlas with a good hero weapon could legitimately be a team if you really wanted to. Or a mana generator, Hyndla, hero with a good weapon, and another Hyndla. But yeah, Hyndla is the only other really good elemental giant. And the main reason for that is because she gains 2 HP and magic to all giants. per extra turn? Or is it per cast? Per extra turn? I actually completely forgot. I think it's for per extra turn. No, it might be cast. I actually completely forget now. Fail. Haven't bothered using her for a while. I mainly only bring her out for Guild Wars, so I actually forget. Let me go double check that. I actually completely forget which one she does it for. But yeah, she's pretty good. She can stack a ridiculous amount of magic. She's actually one of the best magic buffers in the game, other than like Humility and Diviner and stuff. But where'd she go? Hindla. Of course, she can't do it for everything though. It's based on extra turns. Okay, yeah, that's super powerful then. Yeah, 2 life and 2 magic to all giants per turn. And this does stack, so if you have 2 or 3 of her on a team, I don't think you would ever need 3. But if you have 2 of her on a team, it would give 4 life and 4 magic to all giants per extra turn, which is a lot of stats. Even just one of them's a lot of stats. There's probably going to be some really broken team with her in the future. Like right now, giant teams and elemental teams with her are kind of just like average, or a little bit above average. But I'm pretty sure in the near future, there'll be something added to Stormheim that's just going to make her beyond broken. And it'll be really funny when it happens, because you'll be able to use Titan Hero class with it. Yes, I gave him a little bit of mana, not too big a deal though. Grab all that mess. Get herself that row as well. I don't really need another greed. I can simply go for, I guess, another brown if I can. I don't think we have reds or anything there, so I'm not going to bother. We'll just go for the green. Get a nice destroy. I'm not even going to bother with that blue into skull. Not needed, because you can just key it down, and that's that. Luckily that was blessed and not barrier. Even got rid of it, because whenever you do any offensive ability, it will get rid of it. So whenever he takes a skull, or if he takes a cast of any kind, it ends up getting removed. It's that one weird stats effect that came in the previous patch that still does nothing pretty much, because nothing uses it yet. We are getting Bleed though very soon. Not this Friday, but next Friday. And hopefully we'll get Cursed and Blessed in the near future. I'm kind of glad that Bleed's the first one though, because of the 3, Bleed is definitely the most fun of them. And I believe the new legend that's coming from next faction is the best faction legend in the game, because it's going to be the best bleed troop in the game, at least currently, when it ends up getting released. A lot of people will probably use it initially. I don't think it's going to be super over the top to the point that it's going to be used in every team, but it's definitely going to be really fun to mess around with, at least initially. Because it's basically like a whole new mechanic coming into the game, even though it technically exists, but it also technically doesn't exist because of how rare it is. Okay, claim our rewards, grab all that. Anything good? Nope. Bunch of uselessness. Okay, on to the next one. What's our layout? Got that useless room. Make sure this isn't 1.3 and don't make that mistake again. Oh, good. Got a treasure room right in the middle, so we'll just cut right over to that then. Good morning, Starlight. Welcome. Yeah, if anyone else has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, just let me know, and we'll make sure to do so. Otherwise, mainly just finishing out the event for this and getting all the shards. It'll be needed for new faction next week's Friday. I need to keep specifying that. We're also getting new mythic on the exact same day too. It's a pretty useless mythic. The only exciting thing is really going to be the faction. We'll still open for him and use him. Who knows? Maybe he's actually better than I think he is. But to my current understanding, he's super underwhelming. We'll give out a code. We'll give out a code once we reach the orb. Once we reach the orb, we'll give a code. Actually, we're probably already at the orb. Or after this faction, or after this, you know, this entire room. I think we'll, or delve is what it's called. We should be at the orb. Yeah, we'll give out a code then. Is the faction weapon, Garland Staff, worth getting? Technically all of them are worth getting, though to a degree, no. The only really good faction weapon is All-Seeing Eyes weapon, which is the Jar of Eyes. Out of every single faction weapon currently available, it's the only one that's actually good. All the other ones are either average or bad, and this one is one of them that's kind of average. It's not horrible, but there's probably better options out there for you to be using. But yeah, it's one that you can skip on for now. It's not something you would really need to go out of your way for. The All-Seeing Eye is the only one that has a good one currently. And basically, the one for All-Seeing Eye is essentially a different version of Mountain Crusher that also has Summon. Only if you specifically need to summon is it really worth it. But if you need to summon off it, it is insanely good. But if you just need the effect of Mountain Crusher and nothing else, or if you need the Brownstorm aspect of it, it's better just to use Mountain Crusher. But there are instances where Jar of Eyes is the best weapon that you can do in some teams. Particularly Skull Spam teams tend to use it a lot in second slot because you can keep gaining mana. And one of the summons are also really good with Skull Spam because it steals attack. Well, we have shown some for lower level faction stuff. So yeah, we'll cover it again in the near future. Let's see. I need to make sure I don't accidentally click the Y button now that I have it bound to a different key. I haven't done that yet, but I have a feeling I will eventually. Since I'm using controller for this now, I'm just going to accidentally click run away. And that will be a gigantic fail if I do it during this game mode, because we lose a lot of resources then. Since it's sigil-based. Like, I wouldn't mind as much if I did it on a daily, but it would matter a lot more for this event, because that could potentially cost us gems. Like, I'm going to give him the skull, it doesn't actually matter. Just kill him off the key. Let's see, how close are we to the orb? Yeah, we're almost there. We should probably get it, as I mentioned, after we do these 4 rooms. Then we'll hand out a code. But I keep checking them. They're not going to change. Go for the 2 1.2s, go for the lower one, and then take the final room. That actually would be cool if they added that, though. A room in factions that if you completed the room, it re-rolls every other room to a different room. It'd probably be hard to code, though. What do we do? Throw a key down. That. Second key. Luckily, he does not get mana drain. Actually, never mind. He can't mana drain. So we could have silenced. What's the invasion team against, real quick? Oh, invasion team? It is, it's Hero using Mountain Crusher or Mang, followed by the invasion troop, followed by Tapon, followed by Marilith. If you have Dawnbringer, you would use the the troop in first slot, followed by Dawnbringer or Earth Fury, followed by Tapon and Marilith again. But that general premise of team is what you use for it. And which one you use in first really just depends on preference. You could use... Oh, stream went down for a second. There we go, we're back. If you also wanted to, if you happen to have 2 copies of the invasion troop, you can actually just run 2 versions of the invasion troop and not even bother with Hero. Oops, he has stone skin. That's not enough to kill. Fail. Okay, we'll go for another hit. And dead. But yeah, the premise that you use for invasion is also going to be almost the exact same team you run for this Thursday as well. This Thursday will be Assassin event. Oh, if you have Dawnbringer, yeah, this run Invasion Troop, Dawnbringer, Tapon, and Marilith then. Okay, final room, and it should also be an orb. Yeah, it will definitely be an orb. Is Poison Master a good substitute for Tapon? Yes, you can replace it with Poison Master. Not gonna work as good, but oh, excuse me, it'll still end up working. It'll be a slower start, but once you get it going, it's gonna be about the same speed as a Tapon at that point. Generally, you only use exploders if you're covering every color. And that's one of the better reasons why the convert's a bit better. And you get it from first turn, which is always nice. You can sometimes get super quick kills if you can get it that quickly. Come on, there you go. And all those arcane light trade stones. How many arcane lights do we even have these days? Probably some kind of absurd amount. I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually reach like 1,000 of them. But anyways, let me go claim my orb. And then go hand out a redeem code. Come on, blue. What's with this orange streak? We are on such a gigantic orange streak. We have over 100 of them right now. Anyways, let me go get out the code. Code. Where are you? Edit, mark it down so we know we used it. Mark, copy, save, put it over here. It works, and put it right there. Copy again, paste, and there you guys go. There's the redeem code. Use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section, or simply click that link. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu, whatever your game says there. The redeem code is right over in chat. The random numbers and letters, just copy paste that or type it out. And give same reward as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, and 2,500 gold. There you guys go. Anyways, let's go and yeah, continue with this. Need to go get it done. Also get Frost Mage XP while we're going with it. Got a 1.3, a 1.2. One of these is probably the... Nope, that's not the treasure room. Okay, so I guess we just cut right down the middle then. Yeah, we go take the bottom, cut down the middle, go to the other area, and then go from there. Take all the 1.15s. Okay, right off the bat, what do we need? Grab gold. Grab brown. Get a green there. Unfortunately, it does not surge. Oh, grab the thing on the side, get herself a hit there. Throw that into a bunch of destroys just so we can get everything clear. Get all the manas that we need. Get another destroy. We already have the full mana there. Get our double hit, and down it goes. Dragon Banner for the team that I mentioned earlier for the thing. Yes, because you don't use brown. Yes, you would use Dragon Banner. You need the +2 red anyways, and you get the extra bit of yellow thrown in. But yes, Dragon Banner. Oh, I should have just taken a red. Whoops. Well, luckily she's not blocked by greed, so we can just take the green. That's the biggest issue that happens when using greed in first slot, when that does get moved. It ends up blocking green after you do that initial cast, so she can only end up getting mana off the reds. Yeah, you would use Dragon Banner for the invasion this week. Same as for the I cannot remember what it's called. Same as for the assassin event tomorrow. I mean on Thursday. So grab the green there. Unless you're using Mango Mountain Crusher, of course. In which case you'd probably use some kind of brown banner because you always use brown with it. And even with a Tapon, as long as you're using Mountain Crusher, you'd still be gaining enough brown, so it's fine. Because you basically have perpetual Brownstorm with Titan. Titan Mountain Crusher's still going to be Brownstorm the entire time. And oddly enough, even though he converts it out, Brownstorm still helps Tapon, even though he converts brown to red, simply because it puts more brown onto the board, which just makes it a higher chance that you'll have alignment like that when it falls down. So you can just convert right into it when you have a Tapon ready to go. Oh, it didn't surge. Why are we getting so few surges today? We're not even up against any jinxes or anything that lower it. Whoa! He just got a kill. Luckily, we got a replacement. Though that does greatly reduce our damage now that we don't have Cedric anymore. Yeah, that's not good. But we do have infinite eggs. Oh yeah, no problem for the code, everyone. Okay, what do we grab here? Let's see. I think we'll just take a red. Put that down so we get skull. The egg does a lot of damage. 59. It's almost all from, literally all from stats. Normally egg only has 0 attack, but it has about 20 because of our kingdoms, and it has a bunch more because of faction points for faction level. We currently have this faction at level 200. Okay, so we lost Cedric, but it's not really that big a deal. Another benefit of having this thing at 200 is we still have those higher stats, so they go down a little bit easier for earlier battles, as well as all the battles. Yeah, even with less damage, it still goes down pretty easy. Okay, which way do we go now? 1.15. Are these all 1.15? No, we got a 1.2, then two 1.15s. The mighty egg of nothing. There's no point in ever casting that ability, at least on the context of this team. Wow, this board is bad. Is it literally just blues? Oh no. No, there's the 5 times purple just staring right there. Fail. Okay, he'll do a thing. Grab all the blues there. Grab a brown. He did. Why do I do the 1.3 rooms before the 1.1 rooms? You always go in multiplier order for the most part, especially during these events, because it maximizes the amount of points that you end up getting as you go through. Because the amount of points you get per room is 100 multiplied by your multipliers. So if you have a bunch of more multipliers earlier on, you're actually going to be getting slightly more points than if you were to do the lower ones first and then go to higher. The only exception to that are treasure rooms, in which case their loot is so much better that sometimes you delay them. But it's still technically more points if you do it just in multiplier order. And the reason why we sometimes do some of the weaker battles, like you might see we have a 1.2 towards the top, but yeah, I go take the 1.15 on the bottom first. The reason for that is because the following room is so much higher in multiplier that it actually comes out to be more points going for the lower one first into the bigger one than it is to take 2 mid-range ones. It doesn't come out to be that big a deal, but it does optimize your amount of points that you gain ever so slightly. It's mostly trivial though, but it does help slightly. And normally it doesn't take that much time to figure out once you get the hang of it, so you might as well do it in multiplier order. Let's see, let's grab that. Let's see. Hello, Headkez. Glad you could join us again. Oh yes, I do remember that a while back. Oh no, I did barrier. I don't have the spell either. The current hero class that we're using. Not like it's that big a deal. Most teams don't run without the spell. I mean, inverse of that. Most teams run without the spell. It's a effect that normally isn't that needed, but it tends to get used a lot against things that have barrier spam, as well in the context of some teams that are bad against submerge, yet the enemy has submerge. Also, wow, that is a lot of legendary ingots. It's almost enough to get a legendary weapon. Let's see, no, not even close. It takes like 60-something or 70-something. But still, that's a pretty decent chunk. I can't even recall if I've ever gotten that many. And it does feel like they have nerfed the amount of ingots that you end up getting at some point. But not when we get a drop like that. It doesn't feel like that. Gosh, 24. That is a decent chunk, that is for sure. Anyways, let's get our next stage. We'll set the next vault key. Have about 3 more delves to go. Hopefully find a Valraven here. Otherwise, we'll need to buy that pack right now. But anyways, let's go grab our 1.4. Is this a 1.3? If that was a 1.3, I actually wouldn't know which way is better. It might actually be 1.3 than that. But it's not a 1.3, so that's not the case. We'll go cut down the middle. And yeah, and then we go somewhere from there. Actually, I believe the rest are just 1.5s, right? Yeah, 1.15. So we just go cut through the middle, and then we take the other 3 in whatever order. What is the Warrens team using Pure Faction only? Pure Faction Warrens is 3 of the legends with the bunny and 3rd slot is what you would use. So I forget her name, but the legend, bunny, legend, with the bunny being this thing, the bunny corn. I completely forget the name of the legends, but you throw the legend in 1st, 2nd, and 4th, and you throw the bunny in 3rd, and that's Pure Faction. And basically, you just rush up the bunny, cast it, get your mana that you need, and just keep spamming the legends over and over again until you win. And throw bunnies when you can. Yeah, Luna, that was her name. 3 Lunas and a bunny, with the bunny in 3rd. Eventually, we would be able to win Pure Faction on this with pure luck, even if you keep it at only level 100, because you would be able to Death Mark with her. The chance that you would Death Mark is very, 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 very unlikely, but she can 4 times Death Mark the entire enemy team with her ability. The biggest issue with this faction, with doing Pure Faction, is it currently has the longest path in the entire game to get to the final boss room. It has 4 rooms that you have to do, whereas most others only have, or no, more than 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, my bad, 5. Whereas most other factions are either 3 or 4. This is the only faction that currently requires 5 to get to the final room there. Oops, I still have Telegram open. I was wondering why I was still getting notifications. Normally I close all that down so I don't get annoying little pop-ups. Let me close that out. If I could create a card, what would it be? I don't even know. There's just too many things I would want to make to just choose one. There's so many fun things that they could be doing. I feel like if I could only choose one, though, it would be something that has better movement capabilities. It's something that this game doesn't really utilize too much, the whole being able to move your team kind of concept. But yeah, it's something that they should expand upon in the future. I really wish they would. I almost feel like we need an entire kingdom based on that, if they were to ever add another kingdom. Just because there's so many things that can utilize it. Things that do more damage in a specific slot, things that move to a specific slot, things that move other things to a specific slot. These things already exist in the game to some degree, but they're very, very, very few of them. We got a Valraven, that's good. That means we're actually on track for not needing to spend gems if we got good multipliers, though I'm pretty sure we did not. Also, we can look back on our mistake earlier if we're a few 100 points short. We better not be. I highly doubt it. That'd be a gigantic fail. If me doing that other order at the beginning to get ever so slightly more gold ended up costing us 30 gems. Not that big a deal, but we'll find out in about 10 minutes. Alright, we'll grab our brown over. Another key down. Do we even take that skull? No, we have enough damage. I find it funny that this team pretty much never goes for skulls. Just because you get so much value out of just spamming key that there's basically no point. You just mana generate into cast and mana generate into cast. And that's basically the entire battle. These were all 1.15s, right? Yeah. Which is a bad sign, because that means our overall score is probably low. Just due to bad luck. Oops, I forgot to cast Greed. Do you think they'll nerf Dragon's Eye? They already did. They buff nerfed it. They do that with quite a few things in the past. It was the most recent thing to be buff nerfed though, and that was several months ago. But yeah, they already technically nerfed it, but in nerfing it, they made it better in PvP, which is really funny. But they nerfed it for delves, but buffed it for PvP. Because now it halves the level of the troop instead of making it into just a normal baby dragon thing. And this made it more difficult for PvP, because before, when you got hit by a Dragon's Eye, your dragon would come in. If you had it upgraded to a level 20 dragon fully traded, it would transform you into a level 20 dragon fully traded. But now it halves the level. So if your troop is currently level 20 at max, it's going to be a level 10 baby dragon with no traits, which affects the level of the dragon that it summons as well, and also, of course, makes it a lot easier to kill. So yeah, it just made it a lot worse in PvP, and it nerfed it for delves, because instead of just transforming things into like weak one-shot dragons that have like 0 stats nearly, it now just halves the level. So if we were to do it on something that's level 36, it would be in level 18. If we did it on something that's level 500, it'd be a level 250, and then 125, and so on and so forth. But will they nerf it again? Yes and no. If they were to nerf it, I think they're going to add more immune to transforms. I don't think they're directly going to make the weapon worse. They're probably just going to finally add immune to transform, if it ever still persists to be a really big issue. There's still no viable immune to transform, nor no viable immune to instant kill currently in the game. The only thing that can currently do it are dooms that are player owned, and no one uses dooms. They're useless for almost everything, with very, very few exceptions. Oh wow, we only got a level 6 chest. That is really bad. It has no effect on our points, but it does have effect on our shards. We actually got a surprisingly low amount of shards this time, because we keep getting ingots and other useless stuff. Alright, what's our path here? We got a 1.2 over there, not needed. 1.2 right there, 1.2. What is this order? Well, I guess we dive down the middle for the multiplier. Yeah, we go down here, cut down the middle, go for the other 1.2, and go from there. Here's one of those instances where my path would actually divert based on if we were doing the event or not. If I wasn't doing the event, I would actually take that 1.2 over to the right first, and then go for the treasure room most likely, or even just save the treasure room for last. But in this case, for multiplier purposes, I will cut down the middle. It loses us a slight amount of gold, but gives us slightly more points for the event. What cards you like the most? Wait, most like them to change to improve the game? That's a hard one too, because honestly, even though there's some things that are super, super strong right now and other things that are super, super weak right now, this game is probably in the most balanced state it's ever been, for the most part. But the main thing I would say is just making other stuff that's currently useless better. A good majority of content in this game, like 80–90% of troops, about 80%, are never used in any circumstance whatsoever. Or essentially no circumstance ever. That are just so weak that they are essentially obsolete. But yeah, it's essentially the gigantic amount of useless cards, and doing something with them to make them not useless. Doesn't mean they all have to be good, just make them viable for at least one single team, if nothing else. Like, for example, Black Beast is a good example of something that is horrible, but horrible in a good way. It's really bad to ever bother using in the late game, but it has such a unique mechanic that actually still makes it viable for a really, really small amount of teams, mainly with Archer for its double summon into Infinite Devour, which you can do off of 1 slot. Before it used to require 2 slots, but now with Hero you can actually do it with 1. I believe Archer and one other hero class can do it effectively. Oh wait, I haven't even used my gold yet. Yeah, we do that. Troops like those, like ones that are basically useless, but they're niche enough that they're at least still used on some occasion. Like Wraith's another one of those. It's a common, but it's a really well-made common. It has freeze and death mark on whenever it does skull, and it also has a half chance to steal all their mana. That's a really strong mechanic that almost no other troop even has, yet it's on a common for only 7 mana cost, which is insanely good. Though it's normally not viable, but it's situational enough that you would use it on occasion. I better not die to that death mark. We actually already died once to that death mark. That's how our first Cedric died like 2 delves ago. Or 1 delve ago. It feels like 2. It was probably the previous delve, though. Yeah, no problem. And if anyone else has any other questions, let me know. Oh wow, we're almost getting to the point that doesn't kill. I believe by floor 80 we don't kill with it anymore. Actually, probably even floor 70 for the final battle it won't maybe kill, as we do some preemptive damage. I'm not currently using Thief, so that's another reason why as well. Thief would be the most optimal thing to use it with, but I'm still trying to currently get Frost Mage leveled. Once we get Frost Mage max, I'll probably switch back to actually using Thief and other stuff. Frost Mage is the only hero class that is super viable that I don't currently have at level 100. It doesn't gain much of a benefit for level 100, but there are some teams that Frost Mage does get used with that do use an elemental or 2. And in those cases, we kind of do need her max in order to fully optimize the benefit of her. It's not that much of a benefit, but I believe one of my Guild War teams actually utilize it. I think it uses like Infernus or something with it. Oh yeah, Wraith about 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago was one of the best troops in the entire game, oddly enough, as a common. Wouldn't be the first time that they made a common way too overpowered. But then they changed how Death Mark works, and then it became pretty, not useless, but no longer meta. But it was at one point the strongest troop in the game, or among one of them as a common, which is pretty funny. It was super underrated at one point too, even when it was at its peak. People didn't really start using it until like about a month after they gave it the whole synergy that it has. Crimson Bat's another one of those troops that in the past has been really good, but it just nerfed it into the ground to the point that it's just useless. That's one of the fear I have with like Dragon's Eye too. Like if they try doing another nerf to Dragon's Eye, it's probably going to become dead content, and everyone will just use Mountain Crusher or Mang and other stuff always instead of. Even though it seems really annoying in PvP right now, if they go too much further with it, it's just never going to be used ever. Alright, we did do enough damage there to get our turn, so that's nice. Fortunately, I'm not using Arch. I'm not using Assassin. I mean, I'll get it right eventually. I'm not using Thief, otherwise she'd be dead right now. But oh well. Could have won the battle, but we'll just have to do one more cast. And dead. It's worth it for Frost Mage HP. There we go, level 7 chest, 4 arcanes. Oh yeah, I meant to go check that earlier too. How many arcanes are we sitting at? And seriously, why do we keep getting legendary ingots? Don't need them. They're useless. And then we get mythic ingots from that. But anyways, I want to go check real quick. How many yellow greens do we have? My guess is probably 400 something. It has to be pretty high by now. Though it was, I believe, one of our lower stacks, so maybe not. I'm not sure. Are we ever getting some of the old weapons? I hope we are. they keep kind of like mentioning that they might do something with it in the future, but then they keep not ever doing anything with it. It's been an issue for pretty much the entire history of this game, obtaining the older weapons, because there's almost like no way of doing it. But yeah, that's them. I have no clue when they're going to bother getting around to it. I hope so soon, but it's been like that for essentially the entire history of this game, where the older weapons are nearly impossible to obtain. We currently have 414 of them. Oddly enough, I don't even know if that's my highest arcane. No, it is not. I somehow have more of pure yellow. Oh, because it's White Helm, duh. That's why. Back when White Helm used to count as defense. That's how it got the highest. Interesting. So this actually hasn't bypassed White Helm yet. Our arcane lights. But well, eventually. Oh yeah, while we're here, how many Celestials? Wow, 773. I mean, 733. Not too bad. Let's make that 1,000. No time soon will be 1,000. They'll probably add a Tradestone Sink before we have 1,000 of them. Anyways, let's keep going. Still have one whole delve and probably a part of another one because I'm highly doubt that's actually going to go all the way. But who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. This is a 1.3. Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say, if that's a 1.3, I actually don't know which one's better. I think it would be the 1.3, then the 1.15, then the 1.4. But it's not, so we don't need to worry about it. So we have two different paths here. Since that's the 1.25, what's this room? Oh, no, it's not anything good. So I guess we go boom, 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 and then boom. And then head to the final battle. And then disappointedly be like a few thousand short. Have to pay 30 gems, do a few battles. And that'll be that complete. We'll grab our gold. Get our yellow from there, grab our green, get full mana, throw it down immediately. Get a key just to kill everything. Get everything destroyed. Grab our browns again. Oops, too early. They really need to get rid of that delay from clicking on the page too early. Keeps bringing it down to 1x speed, which is basically 0.0001 times speed relative to normal game pace. Oh, come on, there we go. What do we need? Grab a... Let's take blue. Grab our skulls there. Single key will do it. Problem is, where's all of our mana? All of this board is useless to us. All of this board, come on! What even is this board? There we go. We needed that shuffle. Let's go get our mana now. Still gonna need another one. And super dead. Using Gorgulfa, Mercy, and Furnace Gorgulfa seems easy to play with. Oh yes, it works really easy for these. It should be essentially 100% win rate. I don't think we've lost a single time with it. The only thing that can unfortunately kill you is Deathmark and Devour, which does come up here and there. But other than that, pretty much nothing can really kill it. Or at least it's very unlikely that they would. Even if they start doing substantial damage, you can just Mercy heal. Yeah, the only reason I bother using Key Team is for the lower battles it's slightly quicker than using that team. But everything beyond about room 90 or so, if there's not a Cedric, it's actually quicker just using that team, the one with the Gorgulfas. Ooh, you got a blue orb. Very nice. Congratulations. Hopefully we'll get something that's not orange. And in saying that, we'll probably get a green. But... oh wow, we actually got 2 Wraiths. I forgot that that's even possible. Because it's on the Undead battle and it's on the Undead Treasure battle. Another horrible board. Oh, I should have taken those reds though. Luckily it's still there. Nice little shuffle. Best Divinia PvP team? There's a couple different ways to run it. I'd probably say the absolute best is Divine Protector, Divinia, Ketris, and Divine Ishbala. Using Priest Hero class with a +1 yellow into the other +1 yellow. So yeah, just using it like that. Throwing Divinia over and over and over again. And just keep spamming everything else. And you just get Ketris into one-shots. Divine Protector for cleanup. And Divine Ishbala not only for the mana start, but also for cleanup with the skull spam. You don't have Ketris? You could do similar with Yagway, kind of. You don't get a 40% mana start on it. But it's the way that it does damage is still similar. You could, I guess, also throw Infernus and stuff there, too. Infernus, or... yeah, mainly Infernus. I don't know if you have that. It's not as good because it doesn't get to utilize the HP as much. But you could put it there. It would still stick with the whole pure divine thing. No problem, Jim. Glad I could help. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to leave them on any of the videos or just during the streams.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
Okay, we'll get all over destroy there. Good key. Another one. The last of our mana. No, don't you dare transform us. I think that's 33% chance too. If I'm not mistaken, even though it doesn't specifically say the chances on them, I'm pretty sure she has the highest transform chance rate of anything in Delves that can transform. Gotta be really careful with her.
Mana surge.
Because some of them, even if they only have like 2 options or something, they actually don't have 50%. Like, for example, he's not in Delves, but Spooky Imp, I believe, is actually only a 25% or 40% chance or something chance that it would actually transform. Even though on his ability it has like 2 different options. Kind of weird. Did I do dungeons? I believe I did. If not, I'll definitely make sure to do so. But no, actually no, I might not have. Unless I did it earlier this morning. I really should just do it immediately in the morning just so I never forget them. There's really no point in doing them on streams. They're pretty easy. Especially this late in the game. Even if just for newer players, it's as long as you have an instant kill option like Devour or like anything, it'll die pretty easily. They're not too hard. A week old account can take them out most of the time. Oh, why did it take? I have no clue why I thought that would kill. Plus the agile it as well. Oh, there we go. Okay. Level 9 chest, not too bad. Claim over a loop. And how short are we? We are... yeah, that's what I thought. A large amount short. We're 2,500 short. So let's go spend our 30 gems. And go from there. Okay. What rooms do we need? Oh, 1.5. That's oddly enough the first 1.5 we've gotten all stream. Which is pretty sad. Because I think there's like 2 or 3 1.5s that can actually appear there. Wait, why am I checking every single room? We don't need to be that precise. We just go and go right to the 1.5 and that should be enough battles or enough points to get it. Okay, whoops, wrong key. Grab our gold, grab our red. No greens, no reds. We'll stick a skull for now. Another one of those really bad boards. Luckily, he clears it for us. It's always funny when a board is just awful, and then the enemy does board clear for you. Yeah, I believe we should have enough after that 1.15, and if not, then it should be after the next battle after that. Oh no! Whoops, I shouldn't have done that. I guess I kind of should have. It's fine. We have another red. Oh, it didn't surge though! Ah, why I gotta do that. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, to say the least. So let's take a skull there. Grab a, oh, let's take blue. Go brown. Key.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
Get everything destroyed.
Mana surge.
Another key and a set. Yep, this will be the final one. 1.15, let's go get it. Hopefully he won't move us, because this will make the rest of it later a little bit more annoying. He shouldn't, though. You always have to be careful with it. He can move you. He moves first enemy to back.
Mana surge. Mana surge. Mana surge.
Nice, we got a key out of that, so we get to kill it there. Submerge does nothing. Because it hits first and last regardless. Even if there's only 2 left, it still hits it, even if he has Submerge on both. And the 5 extra damage kills it for 3 damage. And there we go. Okay. So, place your bets now. What do we get for the orb? What do we get for the orb? Let's make this a little bit better, too. If it's a blue orb, we'll give out a redeem code. Let's see. Well, let's go see what's inside of it. Hopefully it's blue. Really, I'd be happy with anything that's not an orange. Though that doesn't mean give it green. Let's see. Ah! I hate this. How many oranges is that in a row? I haven't been keeping track. I think that's 5 oranges in a row. How many are we sitting at? I think it's 102 if I'm not mistaken. 102, 103. Some kind of really high amount of blue oranges. Well, let me go check real quick. I hate this. Let's see where to go. These things better be useful soon. But yeah, we have 102 of them. And we've actually spent them before. It's not like I don't ever spend them. I think I've gotten a total of about 130 over the course of everything. Maybe even a little bit more than that. But, yeah, they just aren't giving us anything. We're not even getting small greens. We're just getting pure orange lately. That'd be good if we were like an early game, but unfortunately, this late in the game, with how many trade stones we have, that means very little in the current system of the game. But who knows? Maybe that next patch in sometime this year will bring something useful for those orbs. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now, unless anyone else had any other last-minute questions that you wanted to mention. But yeah, tomorrow is just going to be a normal pet. It's the brown Guild War pet, so nothing too special there. Thursday, we'll have the Assassin event, and this weekend, we have nothing. So we'll just be probably grinding Frost Mage, doing some maps, and other stuff, and catching up on videos I haven't had time to do. I might even just not do a Saturday stream and just record videos the entire morning, and just to have that instead, because that'd probably be more useful than doing a stream on absolutely nothing. But we'll still do Friday stream for sure. How do you get Dawnbringer? Dawnbringer, you need to go get level 10 Soulforge. I believe it's 10. It's either 9 or 10. Yes, you need level 10 Soulforge. Do not spend gems on it. Just get it with kills. But as far as actually crafting Dawnbringer itself, once you have it to level 10, you will see the components for Dawnbringer here. What you need to do is craft... well, here's Dawnbringer. But you need to craft these 3 components first to be able to craft it, which are Broken Guard, Shattered Blade, and Dawnstone. And each of these costs 400 of color, 3 Celestials, the biggest expense, which is 100,000 souls, and 50 gems. So that's a total of 300,000 souls, which is the main thing, and a few other stuff. But it's mainly 300,000 souls is the hardest to obtain aspect of all of those. And then there's Dawnbringer, which is basically 1 million souls, which means you need a total of 1.3 million souls in order to craft a Dawnbringer, which makes it the most expensive weapon in the game, as well as one of the most expensive things in the entire game, as far as being able to obtain it. On top of that, that would also cost you 350 gems and 12 Celestial Trade Stones, and a small amount of scrap shard things, so that's not really too many. All of those like extra little spare ones that you have. But yeah, it's basically 350 gems, 12 Celestials, and 1.3 million souls, which is obviously the hardest component to get. That's everything that you need in order to craft a Dawnbringer. But it is essentially one of the best weapons in the game. Well, it is one of the best weapons in the game. Definitely top 10, possibly top 5. Depends on the situation. It's not the absolute best, but it's pretty high up there. And it's used for quite a few things. It's also one of the best barrier options in many situations. But anyways, that's that. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow. Actually, by this point, it's like an hour and a half prior to now tomorrow. And yeah, we'll just be going over more with invasions, the pet thingy, and the normal stuff. Anyways, guys, hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I will catch you all later, and thanks for stopping by. Goodbye, everyone.